Turbo, I have a serious question to ask you, Turbo. Sit. Whoa, you're gonna lay down for this? The 8374 or the 8474 Turbo? And why? I see. Okay. Turbo's gonna stay in there thinking about BorgWarner EFR Turbo. While we work on that Supra. PTP turbo blanket sent over a couple items, one of which is hose cover. So this is reflective heat shielding for hoses, and this makes it FD legal for me to run a hose through the cab of the car. This is key for what I'm doing. If you guys want some of this stuff, it's on our website. PTP Turbo Blankets has a lot of heat management products. So what I'm gonna do is build a dash 16 from these two to these two and crimp it and sheath it. I was kind of explaining in one of the other videos, this is the upper radiator hose, but it goes to the lower one here. That is the water into the radiator, is on the lower one. I was gonna keep it the same as it goes over here. Water out of the motor into the radiator. It's just how it worked out. So we're gonna run with it. What I need to do is take the upper one and the upper one and make them one and the same, because that is what feeds. Yep. Upper one is water out of the radiator, which is the cold water. Comes here and it feeds the motor. Let's get started, guys. Make some XRP Pro Plus race crimp hoses. Maybe for the last time in here. Made a lot of different hoses for this Supra over the years, but never gets old. I kind of really like making hoses. We have made 2 of the hoses, but I want to grab this piece and set it in there so that we have an idea of the height that we're working with from the floor. Don't want it to interfere too much. This is not the easiest thing to put in. Maybe since nothing else is in, it'll be easier. This hose, probably P-clamp it to here. We'll put a nutsert in this hole here, but they're M8, so kind of large. You wouldn't really want to use an M8 to hold something down. Head of the nut would be, or bolt would be too big for a P-clamp. Okay, I'm gonna put this line in the top and then we'll come back to it. This gives you an idea of how it'll lay. We got the 60 on the bottom, the 45 on the top. We'll kind of zip tie them together where we can. First, we will have to wrap them in the heat shielding. What I'll have to do is P-clamp all the spots first and zip tie everything first, then take it out. So I'm gonna be back and forth like 6 times to finish these 2 hoses. But I'm gonna do that right now, show you guys on my next step. So, we're in. We're not gonna P-clamp both at the same time because then it'll separate the hoses too much. So I'm doing 1 P-clamp and we'll do like double zip tie. I might put a P-clamp on the top one, and over here, because they can separate up there, we can P-clamp and nutsert in the middle and let them separate away. Over here, we're trying to keep them close together. Meanwhile, if you like these hoses and crimp fittings, come check this out. This is crazy. A lot of hosiery going on there. We gotta go check this underbelly of the Honda out before it leaves. We could start back here. All the hoses here.
This might be the first rear mount radiator
Honda?
EG hatch
Maybe
ever.
EG hatch, but I think there's a rear radiator Honda out there because someone got really mad at us that I said that before. Sorry everyone. Ooh, look at this really nice jacking point back here, so you can just miss all his fittings. We're not gonna do the final P-clamps and everything on this one because Dave is very capable himself, so he's gonna do it. Joe has done all the plumbing on this car. Oh yeah, watch this. It goes dual to single, Oh, there's a 10 micron goes right here. If you're doing E85, you do a 10 or a 6 micron by the front. So these are hundreds.
I was getting mixed up because the higher number I thought was
finer.
a finer filter for some reason. But
So it has like every hose running down the drive shaft tunnel, but it's not a drive shaft because it's Honda. And then he'll P-clamp them up. We did some of them, but it has the Mazir water pump in there, thermostat, all this crazy stuff happening. And then check this part out.
no, we'll put the car down.
Alright.
We'll just show them our little diagrams.
The diagram, that got
Yeah.
crazy.
Because we've never worked with a J35 before, everything was super new. So instead of on a 2J where there's one inlet and one outlet, there's one inlet to the center of the block and then 2 outlets coming from the heads. So we had to kind of like work out where exactly we were going to get our water feed for the turbo and like bleed off the air coming from the whole cooling system and everything. So we have this line coming all the way from the back to the front going to the swirl pot, which is going to bleed off the air for the whole system and allow us to fill it with water. And also just we got our like turbo feed, turbo drain goes to the back of the thermostat housing.
Super complicated.
Yeah.
Stare at that for a while. But it all happened in here.
Yeah, came out pretty cool.
And it's all with the Race Crimp Pro Plus hose. Dave's Honda's crazy. So that might be the first and the last Honda that we work on. We don't know though. Probably. If not, it has to be a better one than this. So yeah, there you go.
Now we're J35 experts.
Yeah. Say goodbye to Dave's Honda because it's leaving this week.
What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing now?
Thinking.
We're just finishing up this rear ducting for the radiator so it kind of dumps the hot air out. Finished up the fuel cell kind of cage thing and put the nutserts in and everything so it's ready to go in. We're just kind of buttoning things up in the back here.
Looks really good.
I think one of the only other things we have to do is build an overflow tank. Get things powered better. Oh yeah, those 2 tabs.
So much more compact than before.
I know, and less stuff going on and less of everything. So it should be kind of lighter now by a lot. You say this every year and it never is, so it's probably gonna weigh the exact same amount.
Or more.
I don't know how it'll weigh more.
Looks like an industrial kitchen. Once again, remember how we came up with the spoiler? Looked like an oven. We were gonna have pizza. Came up with party in the back for your spoiler. Because we said it looked like we can stick a pizza in there. And we were like, we can have a party in the back.
I mean, it wasn't just mullet related?
No.
Just worked out.
Local car from Southern California, he's simply known as RADGEN. Got one thing, at least one.
Alright guys, finished product with the PTP heat sleeve, fire sleeve over every last bit of this hose. I have P-clamps on the top and bottom. They're not in because I'm going to take it out because we got to paint this part of the firewall. There you have it. Inside hoses are complete. The back hoses are complete. We just have the front hoses to do now. Alright, Renee needs the camera. Talk to you guys later.